What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming at you today with some Destiny, and today we're going to be running the weekly strike, which this week is the Will of Crota on Old Russia. So I'm just going to be doing this on level 24 today, kind of as a little playthrough guide, and just because my Warlock is a little squishy, I may try to run the harder one later on my Titan. But just to kind of give you guys an idea here, I'm going to be using my level 29 Warlock, and I'm going with Sunsinger because this week is a solar burn. So any of your solar damage items are going to do a lot more damage to the enemies. And that's pretty good for us too, because not a lot of the enemies we're going to be fighting are going to have solar. So we actually are going to make out pretty good. For primary, I don't have a solar primary, so I'm going to just go with my Crusader Scout Rifle. This gives me some good damage from a long distance away, and got explosive rounds, can stagger some enemies. And Luck in the Chamber is also a good perk on here, do a little bit more damage. For my secondary, I'm going to go with Plug 1. This is one of the better fusion rifles that came out with the Dark Below DLC. You can pick these up at the Vanguard vendor. It's one of the probably the better weapons the Vanguard vendor has. But this has just got some great perks. You got Flared Magwell, Send It, Enhanced Battery. I can go up to, I believe, 8 shots with that. But I like having the better range. With the range on this, I mean, you can cross-map people with this thing. It's ridiculous. And also I got the Hipfire perk, which is pretty nice. And then if you go to some of the other scopes, you can get even more range and stability out of it. So overall, this is just an amazing fusion rifle. Even though I'm not a huge fan of fusion rifles, especially in the Crucible, this is a great weapon. Also got Murmur. This is the fusion rifle you get from Eris in her quest line. This is a really solid fusion rifle as well, and you can switch back and forth from solar to arc damage. So we may swap over and try this out too, especially if we have some fallen captains that arc damage is going to help take their shields out. But just to compare these two, this is a really good fusion rifle Murmur, but just look, even at 306 attack, look at the drop off on the range and the stability and the reload. It's just night and day with Plug 1. Plug 1 is a great weapon. I'm not going to be using the shotgun at all. This is the only solar sniper rifle I've got, so unfortunately this is what we're going to be stuck with for part of it. I haven't even leveled it up yet. And then for our heavy, I've got One Way Ticket 000. This one I actually did purchase from the Vanguard. This is another very solid new weapon with the Vanguard. You get Field Scout. You can go up to two rockets in the tube there. You got heavy payload for more blast radius, and then stability, which to me on rocket launchers is pretty much useless. You got plenty of time to re-aim after you fire while it reloads. And then this one's got cluster bombs, which are it's a decent perk for just a run-of-the-mill rocket launcher. You know, unfortunately, I don't have Yellowhorn or any of the really good ones. And my Radagast Fury that I have with tracking is actually void damage, so that's not going to help me out too much. And then from other heavy, in case it gets a little too crowded and I need a little bit more firepower, I've got the MG18 Harm's Way. This was I believe I got this as a drop. But this is another good Vanguard heavy, which it seems with the Dark Below DLC, the Vanguard heavies that and the secondaries they have now are very good, but the primaries are not so great. So that's what we're going to be running, and I don't have Sunsinger fully leveled up yet, but I'm going to go with the Firebolt grenades. I really like the way those will hit multiple targets. Let's see, we're going to be doing Flame Shield, so if we have to melee anybody, we'll get Plasma Shield there. And then I'm going to be going for max armor and recovery, and then a longer duration on Radiant so I can throw out more grenades. And then Touch of Flame, so the grenades are going to ignite the enemies and do more solar damage over time. So this is a good strike this week, guys. If you have a Hunter or a Warlock that you want to run with, you can do quite a good bit of damage. And then the other thing too is you want to make sure you pick up the bounties. Eris has got a couple bounties you can do with this strike, Killing Hive. And then also make sure you have some heavy ammo and some special ammo synthesis, just in case you run out. You're going to be using a lot of both of those weapons if you don't have a solar primary. And then also we got some Black Wax Idols with some Ether Seeds. We're going to run in some Fallen and plenty of Hives, so you want to be making some Glimmer off those guys. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Rewards your 3 Strange Coins, a Cryptarch Engram, 3 Vanguard Marks, and 150 Vanguard Reputation. That's all pretty solid, and of course if you want to try it on the harder levels, you can get more coins, 6 and 9, or you can just run it on 30 once and and get 9 altogether. You can get 9 coins a week doing these per character, so this is a really good way if you don't have a lot of time, if you can't do nightfalls and the raid and stuff like that, and get a lot of engrams from the ROC strikes, then this is a good way to get coins guaranteed for those strange coins you need to use at Xur to buy some armor and weapons. And hopefully Xur's going to have a better week this week than he did last week, because let's be honest, you know, he had Icebreaker and we were all excited, and then he comes out with No Land Beyond and a couple of really pretty not that great armor choices last week. So Xur's got a lot of catching up to do this week with us.
The threat of Crota's return will haunt this world. Track her down and exterminate every hive that stands in your way. A new hive army is spawning under the Skywatch. This is Omnigal's doing. Find her.
And the one thing I will stress, and when you're doing these by yourself, take your time. Play very patiently. Don't try to rush, because it only takes one mistake to screw up and you have to start over. This is nowhere near as punishing as the Nightfall, so you won't have to go back to orbit, but you will have to restart from the last checkpoint, which if you've worked really hard, and in my case several times I've gotten to the boss and got the boss down to a sliver of health, and then I got greedy and I had to basically start the entire boss encounter over again, which is never fun, and I usually get upset and lose my patience and just quit out altogether. Hopefully that won't happen this time. So coming up here, we're going to get right into the start of the encounter. I'm going to go ahead and throw on my Ether Seeds and my Black Wax Idol, so I've got some, get some Glimmer coming in here. Now this, you want to just stay, if you can, in this little room here. You can see there's going to be a couple of captains. You want to take these guys out fast. But you're going to be getting hit from both sides here. This is, like I said, don't be afraid to back off and retreat. I just noticed I don't have any heavy ammo, so I'm going to pop a heavy ammo synth. Hang on to that there. So you pull out plug 1 here, and you see the range on this thing. I mean, I just whacked that guy from all the way over here. It's pretty impressive. See that Elder Captain? We just drilled him too. I mean, this fusion rifle is ridiculous. They will take you out quick. New Monarchy fusion rifle. And this one I got from a drop with packages. There's a ton of stealth vandals here. I hate these guys. But like I said, just use this room, backtrack if you have to. You've got a little, what I call like an oh shit point. If you need to really just run, you can escape down the steps there. And yeah, just you don't want to venture out here, because you will get just drilled by everybody. You can see this is one of the reasons we're using these firebolt grenades. They will spread out and do some more damage.
The hive hunger for your light.
Okay, this part, the hive, are going to come out, and this can get pretty dicey. Again, just kind of sit back here, let these guys come to you. The thralls, you let them bunch up, you can take out a whole bunch with some well-placed fusion rifle shots. But again, just take your time. Don't feel like you have to rush through this, because if you rush, you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna take on too many enemies at once and probably get killed. So it's just a whole lot easier to kind of just sit back, let everybody come to you. Just mow these guys down. There are a couple of knights that are going to come in here too. Yeah, but the other thing with this strike too is you can let the hive and the fallen fight each other, and sometimes they'll take each other out, so you don't have as much work to do. But again, use any solar ability you have at your disposal. Oh crap! Yeah, see, like I said, if I got greedy there and I wandered out too far, and now I'm getting whacked by all these guys. They will come after you. And we're out of... Try to use a rocket here to... Sorry if I get quiet, guys. I'm just trying to concentrate here. I don't want to die and look bad and have to start over again, because sometimes I have a really short temper with the game and just don't really want. I hate having to redo everything. So, all right. So the hive now are pretty much taken care of, but you're gonna get a bunch of fallen that are gonna come out here. Grab some ammunition. My fusion rifle. As soon as you hear Ares start talking in that little part, you're going to have a bunch of hive that are going to come out from where the doorway was blocked off. And we got another engram. Okay, we're going to back off. These guys are the worst right here. These fallen Reaver Vandals, the ones with the wire rifles, they can take you out in a couple shots, so you got to be really careful with those guys. Grab some more heavy ammo here. So I think we got them mostly cleared out here. So we're going to proceed on to the next part of the stage. Grab some more ammunition here. Now you're going to want to do the same thing here. You got a little bit of a safe room here. Now enemies will come out of the back here and try to get you. There's some shanks that'll come out periodically. You've also got a lot of snipers. You got some fallen snipers out here. Which is another reason scout rifle comes in handy here. You can kind of take these guys down from a distance. I really should be switching to my solar sniper here to take out the fallen snipers, but I want to stick with plug one because there's a couple of captains here and guys you want to burn down really fast. So take them down. But you want to stay. Yeah, see, that's what I was telling you. You want to stay right back in this area here because those snipers will tear you to pieces. And there's going to be some stealth vandals who come out and some shanks. I think one over there he is. nice thing about the explosive rounds is they do stagger your targets, so it'll throw them off a little bit. You see, you got all these Reaver Vandals. These guys are just a pain in the ass. Alright, so I'm gonna do here. I'm actually gonna change over to the sniper. I got 2 rounds on this thing, so we're gonna have to pop a special ammo synthesis. Headshots all around. We got plenty of them. One more there. Alright, so stealth vandals out there creeping around. And you got more. Pull back here. I got more shanks coming after me. Keep an eye on your radar is really key here, because these guys will try to ambush you from behind. You just gotta take them out. But again, just take your time. Don't rush it. Now, eventually, trying to see who else is out here. Oh, there he is. Eventually, this ship is going to show up, and it's going to drop off a bunch of fallen. And this is where your rockets can come in handy. You got 2 melee captains here. This is can get really dicey. This is why I should have my fusion rifle out, because these guys are a pain in the ass. Okay, you got 1 down. You got both of them, it looks like. But you got to prioritize those guys, melee captains. Especially the majors, they will take you out really fast. I'm just going to try to back off here a little bit. That ship's going to stay around. He's going to drop off, I think, 3 or 4 waves. He'll leave, and then he'll come back with some more. You got the fallen snipers who are going to be out there. Let's see, and one other thing to let you guys know about. There is a guy that camps out up on the rooftop here. Just be wary of him, because if you don't take him down, he'll take pot shots at you, and he's got a sniper rifle, so he can actually do a lot of damage. But again, we're going to just kind of hang out here, take these guys out from a long distance, try to conserve our ammunition if we can. Some headshots. Try to clear these guys out. This would be a great week if you picked up Icebreaker. This is a great week to have Icebreaker. Guy's sniping me over here, so it's. It is the one exotic I wish I had, and unfortunately, the 2 times Zer's had it, I have not had enough strange coins because I spent them on armor or something else. But someday, maybe I'll be lucky enough to grab it. I'm actually hoping Zer has something decent this week, because I'm actually, for once, probably going to be able to get enough coins to buy a primary if he's got a primary weapon. Really hoping. I have been wanting to get either Red Death or Suros Regime since the game pretty much started, and of course both times he's had them I have not had enough coins to buy them. So if Zer would bring one of those this week, it'd make me really happy. Alright, I'm going to try to take these guys out with the rockets. You're gonna need some. I missed completely on that one. We got the cluster bombs. Oh, there's a good hit there. Okay, we're gonna get kind of brave now because I think we're starting to thin these guys out pretty good. Pop radiance here. Use my grenades.
Keep moving, Guardian.
And there are a couple of stealth vandals down here you got to be careful of. They will take you out. And if you guys can hear the little interrupter over here, as I was talking about in my tutorial video the other day, I have my cat really gets bent out of shape whenever I'm on my mic for some reason. I guess she thinks I'm talking to her. Okay, these guys are kicking my ass. But she likes to come in here and interrupt me when I'm trying to do videos. It's really hilarious. You know how our animals can get very possessive and very needy sometimes. They want all of our attention to be focused on them at all times. So you can hear her. She's just going to whine in the background. Alright. These guys are just... crap, this is not good. Let's see, if this had been the Nightfall, I'd have been toast right there. They'd have taken me out. Okay, we got one of them. I think there's one more. Look, here he is. Camouflage, active camo elite wannabe. Alright, so I think that's it. I think we got all those guys cleared out. Two for one there. Alright, so that's about the first half of the strike. So we're going to just run through here. Now, the next part coming up is going to probably take a little while. The next part, we're going to go into the Jovian complex with all the hive. So the first half of this is all Fallen, second half is all hive. The hive part can get kind of crazy because the mechanic on this strike, normally your strikes, for the most part, they all have sort of the same, they follow the same pattern. It's like, you know, you have a midway point, you have to either survive 3 waves of horde mode, or you have to kill 3 major enemies to trigger the next part, and then you take out a tank or a devil walker, and then you get to the boss. With this one, it's a little different. You don't have any of the 3 waves, so to speak, except for that first part, I guess, with the where the doorway is blocked off with the lasers. You do, I guess, kind of have to kill a couple waves, so it does follow it a little bit. But this one, on the last boss, it just sends just masses and masses of enemies after you. That's like the mechanic on this one, and there's really no difference on that. So you basically prioritize the mobs just like you do in a lot of the boss fights. That's one of the key things about a lot of these strikes. The bosses themselves are not actually that difficult. They just have a ton of HP. They're just bullet sponges. The problem really usually comes from the mobs. Alright, I'm half thinking of it. I think I'm gonna... Okay, we'll stick with the rocket launcher here, and if I get killed, I'll switch over to the... Ooh, I got an upgrade here. Let's see if this is anything that will help me out. Oh, nice. A little extra defense. That may help me out a little bit. Alright, and I am going to pop another Black Wax Idol. Make some more glimmer from where I was buying all those. Alright, so you get to this part here now. You're going to see Omnigul. She's going to be kind of hanging out. Just chilling. And she's going to summon a...
Omnigul! Destroy her!
And, you know, like I said, back off. And, you know, don't be afraid to retreat a little bit. Get stuck on objects. And watch out for these hallowed thrall, because they will explode and kill you rather quickly. Yeah. Okay, you guys can see how quickly this can get out of control. You know, they will just swarm you with thralls, and that's how a lot of this strike is going to go. See, there's another one there just all over the place. It's like an alien. They're coming out of the walls! Now, there is always... this guy is always kind of just hiding right here, so... keep that in mind. Take him out. You got a couple wizards. I hate wizards. These guys are a pain in the ass. You gotta wait for him to stop flying around and then try to nail him with a rocket. Tracking comes in handy a lot if you have a tracking rocket launcher. This is why Yalahorn is such a great PvE rocket launcher. There's a Boomer Knight up here. Take him down, or else he'll just sit there and just rain starfire down on your head and take you out pretty quick. Alright, then we're gonna take a couple pot shots at Omegle here. Try to get her to... she'll go ahead and spawn. She'll leave all the enemies out, but you can actually run right to the encounter. Okay, this ogre is bad news. Take him out real fast. Oh, crap, we got thralls. Oh, crap, the ogre didn't die. I thought I took him out with that rocket. And you got Hallowed Knights. Again, if you have to retreat, don't feel bad. Whatever you have to do to avoid a death and having to start over. Now the ogre, he kind of, sometimes he'll come down all the way down here and pursue you, but a lot of the times he'll also just stay there. This is a good strike if you were lucky enough to pick up any of the raid primary weapons from hard mode Crota. You got some of those guns that can cut through the knight shields, do more damage to the wizards, and disorient the wizards. If you have any of those raid weapons, this is a good time to use those. If you have the Vex Mythoclast, you will absolutely destroy this strike. But yeah, you see these guys are just, they're being annoying. Now in the Nightfall, it's arc damage, so all this stuff coming in would like one-shot you. You can see plug one, as I was telling, the range on this thing is just amazing. I mean, look how far back I am, and I'm just, you know, taking these guys out. As if this was almost... I mean, why would you use a sniper rifle? You guys can see how far. And that's, I think, not to get into a completely different issue, that's one of the main problems with fusion rifles in the Crucible. Is you can just... I mean, you can use them from across the map, and there's no point in using a sniper. There you go. It's like this. Alright. Oh, got a Hallowed Thrall. Okay, I think that's everybody. At least for this part. And of course, more Thrall are going to come running out. Grab any ammunition you see, because you are going to need plenty of it. Now, when you get into here, this room here is going to be your lifeline. This is kind of like the first part of this strike. This is going to be your kind of your go-to spot. You want to just try to take out all these guys before you even go any further. And there's that little tempting heavy ammo tempting me. A good thing this is another place where firebolt grenades come in handy. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, you can jump up there if you need to hide for a minute, but if you come back here, most of the time they will not. The thralls will come after you, but most of the other enemies will stay back. See, he gets that spot at the doorway and he retreats. So this is if you get into a really hairy situation here, just kind of lay back. Clear these guys out. This Hallowed Knight up here. Normally this is a regular knight, but again, you can see how good this plug one fusion rifle is. It just, you know, whacks these guys from a distance. Now, I like to come here and try to take pot shots at Omegle. This is one of the safer spots. And you just kind of hit her and back off. These guys come to you. Another thing to point out here is this doorway right here will spawn Hallowed Thrall periodically throughout this fight. So keep an eye on your radar. If you see something coming behind you, you need to retreat back to that back room and make sure you don't get killed by one of those exploding Thrall. And other knights. These knights are... oh, jeez. Hallowed Knight up there. Okay, that's not fair. Come on, buddy. The enemy's cheesing me. And I'm gonna go, well, she's, you know, typical wizard, she's gonna hide behind everything. Try to get her out here. There she is. If you can get some heavy weapon hits on her. See, another thing she likes to do, she likes to troll you big time. She'll sit there and stop and think, you know, you can get a hit on her. And then she'll move. You know, she's got cat-like reflexes. A lot of time you're gonna have to wait for her to... When you get a good bit of damage, I think it's every 25%, I want to say, she's going to summon another wave of enemies. So you want to kind of just chip away. She's got her shield up. Now her shield is arc damage, so if this is another spot, if you want to use Murmur instead of, you know, I'm using plug 1. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this freaking just splash damage. That's another reason you got to try to take these knights out if you can. And again, just be patient. Don't get greedy. Don't try to do too much damage at once if you have an opportunity to. Okay, so she just screamed, so she's going to summon more enemies. Now you can see them all coming out here. There's going to be some more Thrall in this wave, some Acolytes, a couple of Knights. There's one of them right there. I know that may not seem like the most, you know, that might, maybe people think that's cheesy, but, you know, if you're running it solo, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Especially me. I'm not a pro player. I'm not the greatest Destiny player. So, that's how I'm able to do it more effectively. But again, this is actually a pretty good weekly strike, because a lot of times you get in these weekly strikes and you have to you're dealing with a lot of damage that this is really stupid. I'm gonna run up here and grab this heavy synth or this heavy ammo. That was a little reckless, but if it's clear enough and you've got your melee up, you can drill a guy and get your shield. That works out okay. Keep hitting her. Shows a knight. Take him down. These knights that hide up here are the worst, because they'll just sit there and they can just bombard you. Again, this is being a little reckless here, but this isn't a nightfall, so I might be able to get away with it. Take him out real quick. Try to hit Omnigul with some grenades. See, 3,000 damage a grenade is pretty good. Okay, now see, here you go. The Thralls are going to come out. These guys will, with their explosion. You guys will see me reload all the time, even after 1 or 2 shots. It's just an old Call of Duty habit when I used to play Modern Warfare 2 and 3. For some reason, I just always loved to reload. You know, even if I just fired like a handful of bullets, I just might as well just reload it and is she? She's not gonna. Come on, Omegle. Come on out. Shoot your little arc bolts at me, and let me hit you with rockets. This is where again, tracking rocket launcher like Yellowhorn really comes in handy here. Because if not, you're gonna have to wait till she stands still and starts blasting you with her little arc bolts. Okay. There's another scream, so took out a couple guys there. Now one of these waves, it might be this one, she's going to summon a couple major wizards. And they will actually, okay, let's get a little hairy here. Back off a little bit. And like I said, sometimes they'll come after you, but they'll usually back off pretty quick too, so. Yeah, there's a Hallowed Knight up there. A little low on secondary ammo, so I'm going to try to conserve that fusion rifle ammunition if I can. Now you see there's a radar there's a knight, he's behind that door, so if you venture out here, you'll see him, he's right up here just waiting, he's hiding up in this corner. Kind of just waiting to snipe you if you come out there. So if you stay away from that side of the room, you can let him stay up there, but if you want to have a little bit more freedom of movement, pop radiance here and toss out some. Deal with these guys. Again, we're not making any sudden moves, we're just trying to be patient. Some more thralls. Wizards are a real pain in the ass. You gotta try to take them out if you can. These cheap, yeah, I hate these knights. They always throw up that shield. Got Omegle just under half health. Again, this strike takes, it requires a lot of patience. There's not really, it's really hard to get consistent damage on this boss without putting yourself in a lot of danger. You know, unlike some of the other strikes like Mars, Sepsis Prime, where you can kind of just sit there and shoot at him all day. We'll deal with the ads. You know, here you can just, you got a lot of ads that do a lot of big damage, so you have to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and hit some more heavy ammunition. See, again, these knights just sit there and spam their boomer. Take him out. Looks like we got another one up there. Just a chosen knight. Okay, thrall wave. cursed thralls. Again, watch that radar. So these guys don't get behind you. Okay, let's see if we can get back out here. Okay, I'm gonna do something stupid again. I'm gonna run. I see this little green thing here. I'm gonna try to run out here and refill my secondary. Like I said, this just being a 24 weekly, you can get away with a lot of stuff. You know, you don't have to worry as much as you would. Come on, Omnigul, stop hiding. Of course, I've been hiding the whole time, and it's like, you know, I'm going to get mad at her for hiding too, so I guess I can't really say too much. Oh, that was stupid. Grenade the wall. I do that all the time. Okay, she's going to scream again. Let's get the hell you need to... Yeah, that's one thing you got to watch if you're up here on that planet. Ah, crap. And we got more exploding thralls. And I believe this is one of the last few waves of enemies here, so hopefully we're almost to the end. You can see how valuable these firebolt grenades are. And you can usually hit, I think, 3 enemies at a time with them. I know there's a couple exotics that give you some extra, I think either an extra grenade or an extra, maybe that's an action bolt I'm thinking of. All of the splash damage. Oh, thralls. See, these wizards are just... Oh, God, the damage they do. It's just ridiculous. Alright, you know what, Knight? I'm getting tired of your shit. So there, have a rocket right in the face. Achieve peace through superior firepower. So don't be afraid to use that heavy ammunition, because it is effective. She summoned, looks like, more enemies. If I can finish her off with one last rocket, maybe. Ooh, just a sliver. She summoned a couple more. She summoned another wave here. But like I said, that's this strike is just tons and tons and tons of enemies. Ooh. And these wizards, the hallowed wizards, will actually come down here and try to they'll try to invade your space here in this little hiding room here. So keep that in mind. But again, like I said, if you got a good solar fusion rifle, you just burn these guys down. Jesus. I mean, it's just... enemies for the sake of enemies. That's what I call this. It's crazy. You know, that's the only difficulty mechanic in this strike, is just so many enemies. And that's another, yeah, I'm trying not to get into critiques too much here. I'm trying just to play the strike and offer advice, but one of the things a lot of these strikes get really monotonous is it's just all about waves and waves of enemies. And there goes Omnigul, she's down. So now it's safe to move about the room, collect any loot that dropped.
The agents of Crota's will have been defeated.
And there you go, guys. We got Walking Tall, completing a strike without dying. That's pretty cool. I didn't think I'd be able to pull that off, but again, this is just a level 24, a weekly strike. So there you have it. If you're patient and you got the right weapons and the right setup, you should be okay. I'll probably try that again later on level 28 with my Titan. I don't know if I'll record that because, I mean, we're sitting at 45 minutes here. That took quite a while. And don't want to bore you guys with another lengthy video, but you know, that's been the Omnigul strike. $392 kills. And you get an engram and you get your 3 strange coins. So if you do that on the next difficulty, you'll get 6 and then 9 on the max. You can only get 9 per character though. So if you run the one on level 30 right off the bat, you'll get all 9 coins. You won't have to do it multiple times. Anyways, guys, that has been the Will of Crota weekly strike with Solar Burn. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. And we'll see you again next time.